Welcome back to JB Reviews. I'm driving a 2023 Ram. This is a 3500 Laramie, and I wanted to discuss something. So most of you guys know I used to own this truck, and I've been looking at pricing because I'm pretty sure when the time comes, I'm probably going to order a 2025. And most of you guys know, these trucks are expensive, like too expensive in my opinion. So I've been looking at Laramies, building these out, and I've been noticing a few things that I wanted to discuss with you guys because I think this might be important for someone who might be looking to order a 2024 or 2025 when the time comes. So back in 2023, or really 2022, when Ram added these new mirrors and made updates to this truck, they did take away some notable features on the Laramie. At the time, LED headlights used to be standard. Also, the truck came with fender flares. Normally from tradesman to bighorn, you did not get any fender flares. Now, from the tradesman to the Laramie, you do not get that option. So it kind of pushes you a little bit to go to the next trim level. I talk about this all the time. Do not buy a truck on a lower trim level and add a bunch of options to it. I know people don't agree with me all the time, but I can assure you, in a lot of cases, it makes more sense to go up in trim level. And let me explain that for a second. Whenever you buy a lower trim level, let's just say you're looking at a bighorn, and you decide you want to have the 12-inch display, you want to have heated seats, you like the night edition package. In some cases, that bighorn could be a couple $1,000s cheaper than this Laramie with the same options. Maybe $3,000 to $4,000 cheaper. And in my opinion, unless you just don't want leather, I would understand you picking the bighorn trim level. But when you consider the fact that this truck, it starts around $65,000, it does keep you significantly cheaper than the limited Longhorn. I believe they changed the name back to just Longhorn, by the way, too. So back to the Laramie. Here's why I would definitely skip this truck. Number one, unless Ram does something ridiculous for the next model year truck for the redesign, I probably will most likely get a diesel option. The only way I get a gas engine again is if they do something pretty cool, like add turbochargers to the gasser, or maybe just do a hybrid system. I probably would be okay with that too. If they did a hybrid system, maybe I would consider getting another gas option. But that being said, I would definitely get a Cummins because I just like this configuration the best. Number two, 9 times out of 10, I'm always gonna get four-wheel drive. So when I looked at the pricing on this truck, the Laramie does not have LED headlights, and I definitely would like that option 100%. So for me, I looked at the price at the limited Longhorn or Longhorn, whatever the name is, and it was like $85,000 starting price. The Laramie is $65,000, so that's $20,000. So most people are gonna be like, heck no, I'm gonna go ahead and jump over to the Laramie. Does not make sense to get the Longhorn, it's too expensive. Well, hold on. As I just mentioned, if you're gonna get a diesel and you want four-wheel drive, that's about half the battle between the two trucks. So diesel, and it's the standard output Cummins, comes standard on the limited and the Longhorn. Also, four-wheel drive comes standard on those two trim levels. You have to keep in mind too, those trucks also receive the premium interior. Now for the Longhorn, if you want the 12-inch display, that will increase the price a good bit to about $92,000. If you get the same option, so obviously, again, if you're gonna get a Laramie, you have to get the package F, which adds about $5,000 to the truck too. So that puts you around $85,000. If you add the same upgraded package to get the 12-inch for the Longhorn, that puts you around $92,000. you're $7 grand away. But again, you went from $65,000 up to basically 85, 86 grand before taxes and tax. Now, with the Longhorn, you only go up by what, $7 grand when you add the one package. And that is my point, is like, these trucks have gotten so stinking expensive that like, once you add one or two packages, you're up like 15 grand. And if you're adding a diesel option, you're up 10 grand. And in some cases, $12,000 to $13,000. So that's why I made this video. When you're going to order your truck, because a lot of people are wanting to do that more so now. I really recommend you build these trucks, like print them out and really put them side by side. That's why I do my videos showing you the window stickers. That way you have an idea of some of the options. Now, the one thing I absolutely hate about the Longhorn, and why I probably would just skip getting a Ram because of it, is they will not allow you to pick the 12-inch display by itself. And the reason why is because you would literally have the Longhorn and the Laramie the same price. Because if you can just add that one option, even if it was like $2,000, the Laramie would basically be the same price. And so they make you get a bunch of other stuff, like they do package the Harman Kardon and a bunch of other stuff, you know, with that 12-inch display. But again, it does drive the price up. So yeah, if you're gonna get a Ram like this, I strongly recommend you do the pricing comparison. Because this truck is 20 grand cheaper than the limited Longhorn, or Longhorn, I don't know what it's called anymore. I'm sorry, I keep saying limited Longhorn. I'm just confused because it used to be Laramie Longhorn, and then they changed it to limited Longhorn. Then I heard that they were changing it back to just Longhorn. So Ram is just, yeah. I don't, never mind, I'm not gonna make a, I was gonna make a comment, but never mind, I won't say it. But yeah. Another thing that the Laramies don't have is they do not have the digital gauge cluster. Now that's not a big selling point for me, but it is nice to have because it's so customizable and it does really make it easy to read out versus the one here. This has only like a 7-inch cluster. But I'm not gonna ramble anymore. I just think that a lot of people are gonna probably jump ship back to Ram in 2025, including me. I'm definitely gonna order a Ram truck when the time comes. And I'm super excited, so I'm kind of getting a gauge for the pricing on these trucks and just kind of getting a gauge for the options, because I don't know if I'm going to get a limited, because I don't know if I want to spend $110,000. Now I know I have two trucks, and a lot of you guys, someone actually emailed me, was like, I don't understand why you wouldn't buy a Ram at $107 when you have two trucks, because they were saying, well, both trucks equal out to this much money. Well, yes, that's true, but you have to understand, when you think about depreciation, 5% depreciation on 100,000 is a lot different than 80,000 or 70,000. And so for me, you know, some of the trucks I've been looking at on the Ram side of the house, dealerships aren't really discounting them. Like, I was looking to get a dually one time, it was a red one. I asked one of the salespeople what he thought, and he told me, he's like, buddy, I wouldn't even ask, because he said, I already have the truck sold at MSRP. So that's kind of why I got the Chevy, because the Chevy dealer was like, we'll discount it. So that's just something to consider. So hopefully when the time comes when Ram trucks are redesigned, they have the new cabs, all the new stuff, I will probably go out and try to order a truck. But I don't know if I'm going to get a limited this time, because I don't know if I want to spend that much money on one truck. I just don't want to do that. And if I do it, I don't know, I'm going to keep that bad boy. I won't trade out of it in a year or two. So yeah, we'll see how it all shakes out. But I hope this was helpful. Again, I don't care what anyone tells you, to go from 65 grand to like 90 grand, that's a big jump. And these trucks are not significantly different to justify that price point. So you have to do your research, because I do believe that a truck will depreciate a lot quicker despite it having all the options. Because sometimes when I've actually gotten an appraisal done and I look at the options that the dealership added, sometimes the options don't really show up that I actually have on the truck to be added to the, you know, the spec sheet. So then you kind of take a hit on some of those features. And you have to keep in mind, a lot of the features that you do click and select, they don't really give it that much value. So it's always better to at least consider the higher trim level. That way you don't have a $18,000 option list. You have like a $5,000 to $7,000 option list. So it's a lot less money that you're adding to the base price. So that base price and the mileage when you go to trade that truck in are going to be the factor in how that truck gets appraised. So just keep that in mind. Be sure to stay tuned. I'm pretty sure we're going to get some updates this year on the new Ram, and when the time comes, I'm going to be the first one this time to get my Ram. So I'm going to order very quickly. Once the book's open, I'm going to be there. I am very excited. I love my Chevys. I love my GMCs. I try to buy a Ford, but it's too late now. I feel like Ford trucks, maybe the next time around I'll get one, but we'll have to wait and see how it all shakes out. Peace.